How did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? Coming in second, right after creativity, technology has been one of my best friends working on this project. I began my research by Googling literally everything related to music videos, digipacks, and their websites. This research of mine led me to SurveyMonkey.com, where I created questionnaires for my audience to fill out in order to help me better understand what kind of music video they would like best. Once I had my questionnaires filled out, I wanted to compile my results better, so I made graphs on metachart.com. After a little more research for song selection, mostly on Google and YouTube, I began writing my script in the Notes app on my laptop, which is a MacBook Pro 13-inch late 2011 model. I storyboarded the old-fashioned way on paper, but took pictures of my storyboards and short lists to transfer to my laptop where I kept all of my data. I also kept backups on a 2 TB external hard drive that later proved to be a lifesaver. Now, before I started principal photography, I asked a question in a filmmaking group on Facebook on how to sync audio to video for a music video. I added beeps to my track in Final Cut Pro X to sync it to the video footage. I shot for 6 days. I used a Canon 1300D camera and kept switching lenses depending on what the scene called for or whatever made my job easier. I used a 50mm lens for most scenes and an 18 to 55mm kit lens for scenes where I would be moving with the camera and I didn't want much depth. I used a tripod for the entire shoot, occasionally going handheld. For the outdoor shoots, the sun, which in my opinion is God's gift to filmmakers, had my back, but for the indoor shoots, I needed lights. I used a 20-watt white floodlight and a 500-watt golden light. I had to bounce the light off walls to get a more natural look as the intensity in these lights was unbelievably high. I used one as a key and one as a fill light or backlight. For some scenes, such as the wedding scenes, I had to bring in a third 500-watt golden light. The best part about these lights is you can get as many of them as you want since they're approximately 40 pennies a piece. You just need to put them in a proper light case because they get pretty hot. I used a light stand to hold these, which I initially got from my boom pole. My phone played a vital role here as it did pretty much everything from phone calls, calculations, and weather forecasts to getting behind the scenes footage and playing the song in the background while shooting. With principal photography wrapped up, it was time to edit, but before I could dive right into editing, I had to make BTS commentaries for the shoots. I used the same camera with the 18 to 55mm lens. However, I recorded audio separately on a Zoom H4n recorder and synced the audio to video in Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro X has basically been my go-to software for this entire project. Music video to BTS to blog work, all edited in FCPX. However, I did use a free video converter app I got from the App Store to convert my videos to different formats or qualities. I also calibrated my monitor in the display settings to see the type of look I would get on different display systems. Once I was done with the music video, I had to design the digipack, which I did in Photoshop. I started by color correcting the images a bit, followed by the overall designing. I also generated a barcode for the digipack online at barcodegenerator.org. The website was the tricky part because I ended up using two different softwares. I started out by designing on Rapid Weaver, but when that didn't work out for me since it was a totally alien software and I was short on time, I instantly had to switch to Microsoft FrontPage, on which I designed my complete website. I ended up using Google Drive and YouTube to upload all my content, which ended up on my blog, which was made on Blogger. I cannot stress enough how much technology has made our jobs easier and a lot more fun.